Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning we're going to talk about the overview of the theme on giving. So let's jump right into it. So the purpose of going through 12 themes over a period of 12 months is to transform your personal finances step by step. Now, this transformational process, or what's intended to be a process to transform your finances, should help you to ensure that both the defense and the offense of your personal finances are addressed. Now, you cannot just focus on living within your means, paying off debt, and saving, while not also focusing on investing, increasing your income, and growing in your applied knowledge. So this in turn will create margin to then decide how you want to give back. Now, although your personal finance journey will be an ongoing journey, building in a habit of addressing your finances based on key components each month will ensure that you have a checklist of sorts in order to make sure that you are staying on track and hitting your financial goals. So I really encourage people to start with a vision for their lives and their finances that can then be backed out into benchmarks and then into goals accordingly. So addressing these monthly initiatives for your finances can allow you to set specific goals based on the theme you are working on reviewing and how you can apply that theme in order to be a checklist of sorts. Now, we will begin this theme on giving by reviewing the key checklist items that you will review each month as goals and initiatives, which lead up into ensuring you are fulfilling that greater vision that you have for your life. Now, that vision for you may be having the ability to support those individuals, those families, those organizations, or those causes that matter most to you. But having the financial margin to actually do so requires that you cover additional bases beforehand, before you're actually able to be a blessing from a standpoint of giving. So the giving component is probably one of my favorite topics to go over with people, as this is the result of actually building margin that seems to get people most excited. And I think the feeling is mutual, as I put so much focus on the topic of margin to get to the point where you and I can become more generous. Now, waiting until your finances are in order or figured out in order to be generous is the wrong approach. Your journey of generosity should be one that is a consistent pattern of doing so as you continue to grow. Now, I talk a lot about money being just a tool, and one of which that makes you more of what you already are. Now, if you're already generous with your time, your talent, your resources, then having more money will only make you more of that way. It will make you more generous with those resources. However, on the other hand, if you look in the mirror and find that you are a miser, or maybe even worse, you're frivolous, be encouraged that there is hope. You can choose to seriously look at the vision you have for your life, the person that you want to be, and the impact that you want to have, and you can choose to pivot and make a change. So being a miser or being frivolous are both typically caused by being too focused on yourself. But choosing to be generous puts the focus off of yourself and onto another person. So I believe that people who are consistently unhappy are those who have not experienced the joy that comes from being generous. It's almost like our Creator ingrained within us that it is better to give than to receive, as the enjoyment of giving is so evident in our lives. So the reason why I put so much focus around the topic of building margin really comes down to this very theme of being able to give. And as I mentioned before, giving gives life to your living. It prevents you from going one day to the next in a repetitive, checked out, and somewhat of an autopilot sort of state. Building margin allows you to not be so focused on what you need, but much more aware of what others' needs are. And without this margin, you are unable to actually step up and step in and be available when a need arises if you are completely maxed out. If you are living paycheck to paycheck and every dollar that comes back in goes back out in the form of expenses. Now, we can discuss the importance of having a budget, living within your means, saving and investing, expanding your income, and so on and so forth. But giving is a topic that takes the focus off of our personal worlds. And although all of those components are important in and of themselves, what's more important is figuring out your why. Why would you even go through the trouble of cutting your expenses, making wiser purchases, or taking on a side hustle if you don't actually know what you're doing it for? Now, this notion of living life with margin is one that I believe can help no matter where you are in life, where you live, where you grew up, and what you do for a living. But in order for this notion of margin to benefit you, you must actually apply it. So in this theme, we will be looking at how you can structure your finances in order to have the margin to give. We will be reviewing not only the key actions you should take monthly that will allow you to then give generously, but also how to go about giving, how much you should be giving, and to whom or for what purposes. So my call to action today is to think about what or who you would love to be generous with. And keep in mind, as we go through this theme, what that is for you, because it's going to be different for every person, every situation. But thinking through that as we go through this theme will inspire you to be able to take those steps necessary in order to make that impact that you want to make. If this information is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're reminded to come back on a daily basis and improve in managing your personal finances. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.